Jose, I'll start with you, and then we'll go to the others. I want to know, what is your philosophy of government? What do you see the role of the city council?
The important part of government is, and the council member, is to serve the community, to address the needs of the community. And in a city government, we're talking predominantly about urban needs, whether it has to do with the garbage collection, police protection.
The role of government, in particularly city council, is to represent the people, is to be as transparent as possible, and is to do, in a sense, the wishes of the people. And so government, regardless of what level the government is, in this case, it is city council, is to go out there to your community, to the voters and to the constituents, and to listen to them, what is most concerning to them today and tomorrow.
In a similar vein, the role of the government is really to be responsive to your community and to provide. That's why when I started, I kicked off my campaign with a survey asking the community what their needs are for the city council. And really, that's going to be my marching orders, what the community says and has indicated to me. I've written all those needs down, and should I be elected, that'll be my marching orders.
So besides those two issues, public safety and economy, what is the top issue facing the district, and what do you think City Hall or the person you're trying to replace in the city council role has not done? And Elizabeth, we'll start with you.
So I would say homelessness was the most prevalent thing. It has been an issue that impacts everybody in the various facets of life.
The third, again, for District 5, and in particular in certain parts of District 5, again, yes, it is homelessness. But we need to address the homeless issue with compassion. And we need to identify and be compassionate about how we are going to address the homeless. Yes, it is going to take local resources, county resources, state resources, even federal resources combined together. And these leaders, including the city council, needs to work with not only elected officials, but also nonprofits.
Small businesses are impacted by the presence of the homeless in that many families will not go shop. And I hear from a lot of business owners, the next challenge is going to be, where do we take them? Because the places that the homeless are taken, because now city government and the county now have the authority to do it, but we now have to provide adequate facilities that provide treatment, that provide care, that provide all the amenities that are necessary for them to survive.
Where do you stand on SEDA? Just to clarify, it's a southeast development area, which will greatly expand the city south and eastward by mega amount, at least in the proposals right now. So where do you stand on SEDA?
I clearly oppose it. And the reason why I oppose it, and maybe because I didn't get a lot of money from developers, so therefore, that's not necessarily the reason, but the reason is that the other parts of Southeast Fresno are being neglected. We have needs in the other parts of Southeast Fresno, and we already have some infrastructure that could allow us to do infill first. Let's use up the land that is vacant, that is available within the city. And then later we can consider taking up more valuable farmland.
Again, I am for growth, and I believe growth is inevitable. If the city is going to grow its tax revenues, it has to grow also within, but outside of where the city limit is right now. And at the same time, we need to go back to the constituents and ask them how do they want that growth to take place. Again, I am not, against, I'm not for, but I am for the people. And the people should have a say in terms of who's going to be their neighbor.
I think it's been recognized over at least the last decade or so that the city has grown unsustainably and that we need to do a better job of growing in a more sustainable manner. And what I mean by that is we've stretched our resources. Unsustainable development on the fringe has caused roads to not be able to be properly financed. It's made our response times for emergency service longer, and it's not sustainable to continue to do that. That said, what's I think really crucial as part of this SADA development is to really look at the financing mechanisms, the water supply, and I would really be looking also at the air quality. I have perused the updated EIR to look at some of those things. The financing, though, I would be interested in seeing what they're looking at to address some of the issues that were brought up.
The city budget, they said they're going to be at least $20 million in the hole. That's what it's looking like right now. So I want to know, what would you cut? And Brandon, we'll start with you.
What I would not do is I will not touch public safety. If anything, we should enhance public safety.
Is there a limit to then? You know, public safety is always like police and fire about half the budget, at least half the general fund. Is there ever a limit for you, you know, percentage-wise?
No, that should be an open-end question. But what I would also do is, you know, the hiring freeze. We should stop hiring right now and put a freeze to hiring. And not only that, the jobs of the employees who are retiring, you know, is it necessary to fill those positions right now? If not, then we should, you know, not refill those positions once retirees are retired. And if we can save a few $1,000, a few $1 million here and there, that's what we would do. Yes, $20 million is a lot of money, but at the same time, the services of the city that we provide to the citizens should be sustainable. It should be status quo. It should be the same.
I think first and foremost, of course, we look at attrition in non-frontline positions. And then I really believe in asking our bargaining units first. We have a good portion of our contracts that are opening up this year, and I think we need to involve our employees in the process. They are experts. They know how the programs operate, how programs could operate more efficiently, and how we could implement cost-saving measures. And I think that's the best way in order to keep programs operating in a way that our constituents aren't feeling a reduction in services while at the same time being able to save money.
I work for the Fresno County Administrative Office right below the Board of Supervisors. And we had to explore all kinds of possibilities to cut back. And one of the things that obviously was a priority, and I would still do it, is essential services like public safety and fire would be the last to touch. Those would be my highest priority. The areas where I would explore cutting would be support services. By that I mean it might be the attorneys, purchasing, some of the administrative functions that are not necessarily in the business of delivering services to the public. That would be the way I would approach it. As a council member, I would submit an item on the agenda and ask that the salaries of the council members also be reduced.
15-second response. Do you support cutting council member salary, Brandon?
I do. What I can promise is that, you know, if this $20 million shortfall goes through, the increase in the steps, the scheduled steps of the city council members should be freezed.
Right, and Elizabeth?
If employees are furloughed, I will furlough myself as well.
And another 15-second response. Elizabeth, would you support putting any tax measure on the ballot to help the shortfall?
To help with the shortfall, specifically, no. I have voiced my support and will continue to voice my support for a public safety tax that's been floating.
No, until we do evaluations of how we're delivering services, management audits, to identify inefficient components of city government that need to be removed.
The people is already overtaxed, and the answer to that is no. I believe the city can find other areas where we can meet that $20 million shortfall.
Do a little bit of a lightning round here. Try to keep it a brief yes or no when it comes to the spending for, you know, taxpayer that city programs have done in the past. Brandon, should the city be engaging in any type of program for helping people with their eviction status?
Yes.
Should Fresno engage in any type of rent control?
Given the economy right now, people are forced to live on the street because they cannot afford to pay rent. Yes.
And we've heard of a guaranteed income program. The city hasn't really done anything like that. Was that something you'd support in the future?
I have to read more into the guaranteed program before I can give a concrete answer.
All right, Jose, eviction protection program. It's a program the city, about $2 million in the budget. Do you support that?
Yes.
And rent control?
I happen to be a landlord, and my partner is listening. I say yes.
All right, and a guaranteed program or income program in the future. Is that something the city should explore?
I'd like to know more about it.
All right, Elizabeth, same to you. We'll start with the eviction protection program. Keep it?
If it prevents homelessness.
All right, and rent control?
No,
And guaranteed income program?
not with taxpayer dollars.
All right. Well, we're almost at the end here, so I want to give you guys about 30, 45 seconds. Make your elevator pitch. Tell the voters why you're the best candidate. And Jose, why don't you start? Why are you the best candidate?
I am the best candidate because I have the most experience, and we have spoken about economic development, housing. I don't think we didn't say very much about housing, but housing is very important too. And I have a very good education, master's in public administration, and a BS degree in business administration. I'm also a licensed general contractor and a licensed general contractor. So I have a lot of experience, and I have a strong commitment to serve the residents of District 5, and I hope that I'm giving the opportunity and the honor to be a council member for District 5.
Elizabeth, why are you the best candidate?
So I appreciate the time here today to introduce myself to the people that I haven't had a chance to meet personally. I think why we want to serve is the most important question. I'm not doing this because I need a job. I have a job, as was aptly pointed, and actually this city council job would be a pay cut. I'm doing this because I firmly believed in public service. My track record proves that. Even before becoming elected, I have been civically involved, giving my time to various different causes on boards and commissions, the Measure C Citizens Oversight Committee, on the board of the Street Saints, preventing youth from joining gangs, and currently serve on a board providing financial literacy. Amongst other efforts, I volunteered for cleanups, food distributions, and just been there for my community over the years. Professionally, I've been a small business owner. I've worked at the city and state level, been a manager, overseen budgets and staff, secured grants, all experiences that I'll bring with me to City Hall. I possess a master's degree in business administration from Fresno State, which is where I taught and got my start in education. I believe I have the experiences, qualifications, and abilities to represent the District 5 well. And in closing, our district needs a representative that can bring together coalitions and work together towards solutions. I'm proud to have the endorsement of nearly every entity in the city that has endorsed, the Fresno Chamber, Central Labor Council, police, firefighters.
But she's well endorsed. Brandon, make your quick pitch. Why are you the best candidate?
I am the best candidate for the people in District 5. I can be independent. I am not influenced by special interest groups because they are not donating to my campaign. And if you want somebody who has a track record of representing you, you only need to look at me at San Unified for the last 8 years. I will be independent. I will represent the voters in District 5. And unlike the last 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 or 15 years of the people who represented us in District 5, I will be independent. And vote for me because I will be your voice, the voters and the people in District 5.
The vote's now yours, so use it wisely. Remember, March 18th is the election. I'm David Taub. Thank you so much for watching.